Hello and welcome to the Chilled Cardano podcast. I'm Illinois with my co-host Chilled Cardano on Twitter. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. Christmas came and went. It was nice, very chill. No one's grandpa died, so I'm pretty happy about things.
That is good. You never want people to die on Christmas, so came close. But how was your DerpBirds experience?
The DerpBirds experience from transitioning from V1 to V2 is very smooth. Actually, I did have a hiccup, but my lovely brother helped me figure out some weird bug where I had to send Derp and my DerpBird to myself, and that cleared out whatever issues I had, and it worked right after that. So not too bad.
Yeah.
The artwork looks insane. So much better than the first version, and I know when we first started talking about DerpBirds, that was what my one big issue was, the artwork. So for them to go back and redo the whole set is pretty amazing.
Yeah, they look fantastic, especially my cyborg eyes.
Cyborg eyes are sick, and if you need me to take that off your hands, feel free. Give me a nice little
5,000 ADA if you want it. So let me just show the folks at home real quick how you do that, how you convert. So this is the app.derpbirds.io website, and now we always had explore, rewards. Now we have play. And there's Rebirth, and there's questing. I don't know what questing is going to be, but it looks interesting. So if you click on Rebirth, you get this screen, and you're going to want to hit begin. And once you do that, you're going to see your DerpBirds here, which I've already done mine because I'm a bad little boy and I didn't wait to show you guys. So you click on that. And then it's basically just going to ask you to sign the transaction. Once you sign it, you're going to get a little pop-up here, and you're going to be able to see the new DerpBird. Like Mike was saying, some people, including me, you'll get an error message that says like not enough ADA to do the transaction or something. So what you have to do is send your Derp tokens, whatever Derp NFTs you have, and like 20 ADA to your own wallet. And for some reason, when you do that, it clears that error, and then it's smooth sailing. So I did have that error, but people in Discord were very helpful in figuring out how to fix it. So other than that, it was pretty smooth. I feel like a lot of people haven't converted theirs yet, and I think a lot of people just won't ever do it. So it'll be interesting how they manage that. I think some people actually like the old art style, or they're just too lazy to actually do it, or they just forgot they have them. But yeah, I like the new ones better, I think. They just have a little more pizzazz to them, I would say.
They have a lot more character. It's kind of fun. I feel like there's a story behind each one, and I think it'll lead itself to more of a storytelling driven kind of an NFT project. Are they doing the whole? Are they doing all collections? So drapes and preds.
I know they're doing preds for sure. I think they've teased drapes, but I'm not sure if that's confirmed yet. I'm sure people in the comments will let us know. But yeah, they're doing a really great job with this project. I wasn't always knowledgeable about DerpBirds, but now I'm like, team DerpBird. So they really converted both of us, I think, and they're doing a great job. So shout out to them.
It's a very fun community on Twitter as well. Like, I would say them more so than anybody else. They just like to have fun and do stupid shit and make fun memes, and I think it just allows itself to be like, oh, I want to have fun, I want to play, and so I think like that kind of idea like makes it a lot easier for people to want to buy them too. So it's like you'll always see them. God, they were like 200 ADA like at the beginning of the year, and then they just shot up to like close to 1,000, and they've kind of been around there. You know, every time something gets released, it's always going towards 1,000 and in the top 10 of volume sales. So I think the future is bright. I'm excited. I think they released under the roadmap. I'm not sure. I keep seeing things about stuff, but I don't know how that plays out. And I know they have the raffle system, which is very cool. I was surprised to see that the token did not go up. That shit
Yeah.
went down.
I was actually like, I was trying to be smart and like play that, but it did not. I didn't really get anything out of it. But I noticed like I think people who are actually like truly smart, like were or just have like 100 DerpBirds, they've just been earning that derp for so long, and they're like waiting for this moment to dump it all. And so when I saw it start to shoot up to like 7.078 or whatever, you could see like people just dumping it, and then people would buy back up to like convert, and then they'd dump it again. So I don't think it's really gonna take a big run because of that. Like, I think a lot of people just have some, and they're just like, waiting for it to go a little bit up, and then they dump it.
It's so interesting to me because I keep thinking I'm waiting for the moment in which somebody makes a token that has a lot of utility to the point where I'm not saying like the price shoots up right away, but it like slowly climbs over time. It seems like all these NFT tokens, like they'll hit a point and then they'll just go down forever. So it's kind of odd to me. It's interesting. I'm very intrigued by it because I know that the creators don't want that to happen. So it's like, how do you manufacture it so that there's always some type of a buying pressure on the token itself? I think that's going to happen in the next year. But so it's like, I'm just like licking my chops at some of these prices because they're so cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think during the next bull run, like most of the stuff does 100x. So I'd rather just keep some in my wallet, like not go heavy, but at least have like,
100 ADA's worth or something.
Yeah. Because like at these prices, even if you get a 10x, that's like, okay, cool. Now I can sell it and buy some more NFTs, some more DerpBirds or whatever,
Yeah. I think you have to have like the mentality of like not looking at it though, if you're gonna do that, because like this shit just dumps so hard. Like, I was thinking about doing that with Yummy, and then I was just like, I can't do this. Like, it's because I put a lot, and I was like, because I thought it was gonna jump or something, and then I just took it out because I was like, I'm scared.
The nice thing about stuff like that is when these NFTs have staking and then they give you the native token, I kind of just like having that and not selling it and just kind of let it accumulate in the background. Like with my Yummy, like I keep staking my NFTs every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping, like I had a lot of Yummy and I sold towards the top of that. Like it was like way back when it was like 0.03 or something, or 0.3.
Yeah. I think if I were to invest in one, it would be one that doesn't have yield farming or anything like that. Because otherwise it's like all sell pressure,
But I think
and it's hard
the
to
yield
find
farming for the liquidity. Like with Derp, if you ever tried to trade out of it, it's very like the slippage is a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
There's just not a lot out there, which is kind of interesting, which actually makes me bullish for the token itself because if people are just trading like 100 derp at it's like
I think it's smart too, like the fact that they made you pay with derp, like
mhm.
it's putting it in their own wallet, and they're gonna want to hold it, and there's gonna be like less of it out there. So
I was actually thinking they were getting rid of the dirt, like the
like
team,
burning
like
it.
yeah, not burning it, but like selling it,
Mm,
because they just accumulated a shit ton. If you have 10,000 NFTs and everyone's using derp to pay for their transformation,
yeah, I mean that would be like a savvy move, but I don't know if people would like think that's scummy or something. But I guess if you never bought it in the first place, like who cares?
right?
Um,
You're just speculating on the price to go up, but until we have like a game come out, or are they going to make a game? Should we look at their roadmap to see what's coming out for that for DerpBirds?
let's take a look.
DerpBirds International Global.co.
Wait, what? Is that really it?
DerpBirds worldwide, baby.
Derptastic.
You don't have their webpage bookmarked, guys. I'm gonna the
I
Derp
do. I
community.
have it
I'm
on
gonna
my.
need you to. I'm gonna need you to cancel Eric.
I have it on my work computer only.
I'll be telling
Just
your
kidding.
boss after this.
I don't do that on my work computer.
Dare you.
So we got, so we got season 3. Mike is underway. This includes rebalancing. In season 2, we introduced staking, and staking rewards were based on the rarity of the traits of each NFT. At the start of season 3, we'll be making some balance fixes to staking for some of the rare NFTs in the collection. Epic, mystical, and legendary will all get increases to staking rewards. Perfect specimens will get a moderate boost. Perfect specimens will grant holders many more partner staking than non-perfects. The one of one derp, the ghost, will get a substantial increase in staking, and Pred's XP will get a boost, where the XP from the eggs, perfect eggs, and shards traded to create the Pred will get added to the Pred's XP. And if you don't know, like the DerpBird's lore, that's probably really confusing to hear, but you should probably learn. Okay, guys. So we've got DerpBirds 2.0 Rebirth, which was what we just talked about. See if there's anything different in there. I don't think so. You got the Pred art upgrade from Cosmo Kramer. That's coming soon, it says. Power level based on the rarity of their attributes.
So that's new. That's new. So when you update your DerpBird, I believe this is a new attribute on all of them, and like it's to be determined right now, but it's kind of cool. It's going to give a new kind of rarity and a filter to look for on JPEG Store when buying a DerpBird, which is kind of fun to see. Like each one, it's kind of interesting because it's like all these gamification attributes make me tend to believe that they're going to make some type of a game.
Yeah.
I don't know how
No
it's going to
doubt.
play out.
No pun intended.
I didn't hear what you said.
You said, I don't know how it's going to play out. And I said, no pun intended. Because of a
Folks,
game.
This is why you come to this podcast.
Cut that out. Cut that all out. Anyway, we got Twitter raids. We all know and love Twitter raids.
So what is a Twitter raid? I've never participated in one. I feel kind of embarrassed asking this question, but
basically people on Discord are like, yo, let's do a Twitter raid on this tweet. They're talking about our project. And so basically just a bunch of people retweet it. like it, comment on it, and it gets a lot of like attention on
Engagement.
it because of the algorithm. And so they're kind of like gamifying that where you can connect your Twitter profile to their app, and then if you raid with them, you get like points for it, I think.
Points which lead to derp token.
I believe so. I think you get XP, which is converted to derp.
And then you could use that derp for their lottery to buy rare
Or to convert
NFTs.
your derp. That's correct, Mike. You got floor bounties. Whenever a derp NFT is listed on the floor, it has a bounty placed on it. When someone buys that asset from the floor, they are able to claim the derp bounty. The longer the NFT is on the floor, the higher the bounty becomes. That's kind of cool.
That's nice. They've done just
Sweep
an
the floor.
incredible job just gamifying the
Yeah.
whole NFT community and like the different parts of it. And it's like, it's really refreshing because
Yeah.
like other teams will just ask you to do this and they actually pay you in some form, which is
Yeah.
very interesting and kind of fun. And I mean, it makes sense why their community is so strong. Just like all these things that you can do and participate in, and makes you feel like part of the team as well. And also, you get
Yeah.
rewarded for it. You know,
Yeah.
it hurts my feelings because I fucking bought so many NFTs right where the teams weren't as great. You know, back in the
Oh
day,
yeah.
like how many like can we list like think about all the money you spent on the one of ones that you've bought in through dying
Yeah.
NFTs. Where if you would have heard about derps early, you maybe could have got the one of one ghost or something. It's just
Yeah.
like, damn, you know, like
That's true. They weren't even on my radar, so
yeah,
luckily I'm not like too beaten up about it. At least I found them eventually. But yeah, there's so many projects that like promised everything, and then they're
did
like,
nothing.
"Hey, we're doing another raffle or something." Or it's like
We
we're
have a
giving
game night.
away someone else's NFT. Yeah. We're playing Gardic again or poker. But yeah, not DerpBirds. Leaderboards, whoever collects the most XP, you get to be on the leaderboard. Public profiles, and then questing. Let's see what this is all about. Questing is an interactive gamified activity where you send your derp birds and preds on adventures all over Derpatonia to earn different types of rewards for your account and the NFTs that you send on the quests. Eligibility: all 2.0 derp birds and preds can be used for quests so long as they are not actively engaged in another quest.
Hmm.
Some quests will have a certain power level requirement to be able to attempt the quest. That's cool. Cost.
So this
The
is
current
great because, like you were saying, like there's a lot of people who aren't changing their derp over to 2.0, and
Yeah,
they're going to be missing out on a lot
this
of
is the incentive.
the games. So
The
very
current plan
interesting.
is for players to use XP to initiate quests instead of derp or ADA. We do this to make it a better experience for players to initiate quests if they have many NFT assets to use for quests. This may change before the launch of this feature. Rewards. There are three type of rewards: XP, which can be derp, unidentified traits, progression points.
You know what's cool about that unidentified traits is like thinking about the idea of doing these adventures, right? Where you're going through these quests and completing things. And because of that, all of a sudden, that NFT that you bought that maybe isn't very rare or is a common, all of a sudden has this really nice trait and it increases the price of that NFT. So if you ever wanted to sell it, it's like becomes like way more expensive than whatever the floor price is.
Yeah, that's true. And you feel like you earned it.
Right.
because of this. Um, the unidentified traits. These are NFTs that can be used to customize 2.0 DerpBirds and Preds once they have been identified at the Armory, which we'll read about in a second. When players acquire unidentified traits, they are sent to the player's loot crate, where they can claim all of their unidentified traits NFTs that they have collected. Um, isn't that what you call your butthole? Your loot crate?
Folks,
Cut that
told
out
you
too.
that in confidence.
Uh, progression points. NFTs that are used on quests receive progression points. Each NFT used in a quest will earn 1 PP. PP will be
That's what
used
Eric
in
calls his
later.
penis. Come on.
No, that's good.
That's good
Mine
stuff
was
right
dumb,
there.
but that one's funny. An example of this would be allowing Preds to advance to rank 5 once they reach a certain number of PPs.
Say it. Yes.
Yeah, like they're just making me say PPs now.
Cut it.
Account upgrades. Okay. And then the Armory. Customizable NFTs. The Armory is where users can customize their DerpBirds and Preds with new traits that they have earned from questing. Identifying traits. Before a new trait, NFTs can be used to customize an existing NFT. It must be first identified. All traits start unidentified, which means their name, artwork, and any benefits associated with them are not visible. Once a user identifies a trait, all of the metadata for the trait NFT are revealed. Okay. Customizing NFTs. From the Armory, users can customize DerpBirds and Preds. When customizing, a user will select the NFT they wish to customize and then see that the NFT along with the traits. Oh my god, I can't read anymore.
Eligible
With
traits
all
that
of
they
the
hold can be used for the selected NFT, which is really interesting to me. The Armory, this is like such a cool idea, and I don't know if this is going to be a part of it, but what an idea. It would be so cool to like do all these adventures, right? All these quests. You get these traits, they become like not a part of the NFT itself, but to like have in the store, and then you're able to sell that to other people who have derps to be like, hey, this will like bump up your NFT to like another, rarity, and then you
yeah.
could sell that. And then so like to have a store of traits that you could sell to other people would be like pretty sick, I think. Like to make your DerpBird even more special.
Yeah. I mean, all that stuff sounds pretty bullish to me.
Might have to pick up another DerpBird.
Yeah. Uh yeah, that's really cool. I think it's funny you're talking about projects that didn't deliver or whatever. Like DerpBirds has all this stuff coming out, and then they've already put out so much stuff, and then they're doing this like customizable NFT thing, and it's like Split World was the first NFT I bought, like in March, and
Yeah,
they've
that's
been
a long
talking
time ago.
about this customizable NFT thing for like a whole year, and they're just releasing it like at the end of this month. So it's like, how's like one project is doing like all this stuff, and the other one is like, it takes them this long to like put out anything. And they like I'm sure they made a shitload off of their mint, and DerpBird's mint was way lower. So it's like it's just all about the team, like
The team is so important. And like this is what's so much fun about the bear market, because the prices aren't moving at such a breakneck speed that you get blinded by the number and how fast and how high it's going. So you feel like you have to
yeah,
purchase that NFT right now. Whereas now it's like I can look back, I can zoom out, I could read like the DerpBird's new roadmap and like really break it down and really understand where they're going and how they're going to do this. And also lets me be creative and think about, yeah, like all these traits and stuff and how that can be utilized. And so now I have a really great grasp of like where their next 6 months is going. And we've already seen them doing so much work in the past 6 to 12 months. it makes you so bullish on the project, and the price doesn't really matter because you know it's going to go up, right? Because you know all that engagement that they're going to create through Twitter with their raids, um, where they've gamified it, so it's like you'd kind of be an idiot not to participate. Uh, you have to buy into that team. Like if you're not,
Yeah.
it's just it's your own fault. Uh, and then you look at all your other NFTs and you start to research their communities and you start to realize that they're not really doing that much. And their idea of creativity is to release another 10,000 NFT PFP collection. So it's like,
Right.
well, like in that sense, it's like you understand that they're not really doing anything for the community. They're just making money, which is fine. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to make artwork and you're going to sell it to people, that's fine. But I think we've gotten to this point with NFTs where people want to see another level of creativity, where it's
Yeah.
not just buying and selling NFTs, where it's like this, where it's like we've gamified it. Like they've actually created a gamification of how to make the price of the NFT go up too. But it's also fun. Like they're like easily the one of the most fun communities to play with on Twitter and Discord and wherever else they're hanging out. But like I love Yummy. Don't get me wrong, Yummy's great, but they just don't participate with the community too well, and they're always collaborating with other NFT projects, but they're just making more NFTs, and it's like I've been hearing about their game. I've been hearing that they're going to do something cool, and I don't have any doubts that they will. But it's in the meantime, it's like, how do I engage with the Yummy community? Because I really haven't, and all the fun stuff has come from the community, like their memes and stuff, like their bussing, their fat yummies and stuff. That was cool. That was fun, but that was like a couple
Yeah.
months, and then it disappeared. Whereas with like Derp, I feel like I'm being constantly bombarded, and like
With
I know that
gifts.
they're active on Twitter. Like you can't go a day or two without them being up there. You know what I mean? Like they might phase out for a couple days, but you know, the next 2 or 3 days they're just there. And I think that goes to the team and how they're building and how they're being so open about it. I think, you know, there's too much of this idea of sex appeal when it comes to being mystical and like doing stuff in the background with like Yummy or like Beat Boys, or
Yeah.
you know, it's like we're coming like at the end of like put it on your calendar, like there's gonna be an announcement at the end of the
It's
year.
it's like such bullshit though. It's like, what if your boss was like, trust me, like you never see me working or doing anything, but like behind the scenes, like I'm getting you that promotion, like, but just not this year, but like you just have to be patient and trust the process. But it's like I want to see some results. Like I want to see something. Like show me what your work. Show me like your plan, you know?
Yeah.
And I think Yummy's done a better job of that than Beat Boys, but I think Beat Boys has just been like moving the goalposts a lot. That's like I'd rather have it where they're like where Yummy's like they've done some stuff, cool stuff, slick stuff.
Neat
But
stuff.
but but like they've actually delivered on some stuff. And I think with Beat Boys, all they've really done is like made new mints and then like sure that like minting stuff is fine, but at some point you have to have like a cool new idea and tell us about it. Or, you know, don't just say we've got something big coming. And you gotta just trust us. It's like it's not a religion, dude. Like I'm not just gonna blindly trust you with my ADA for that long. Like at some point I want to know what you're thinking of, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we do have, I don't know if you saw this, we do have an update, Mike,
On what? Beat
on
Boys?
Beat Boys. Yeah.
Oh. And I'm ready, Eric. Pump it straight into my Baines, baby.
All right, here it is, Mike. 'Twas the day after Christmas, and all through the block, to Angel's mom's house, all the BBs did flock. From us to you, happy holidays, be safe, be warm, spend some quality time offline if you can. Love you, can't wait to kick off the new year with you. So, you got 2 minutes of this, Mike.
Is something happening, or have you watched this yet?
I watched 10 seconds of it, but I knew there was going to be nothing
That's just
involved.
a cycle.
And they do this every couple months, but it's like, okay. Like, because they said they're going to deliver something in December. And then they're like, well, we're running low on time or something. And it's going to be like around the holidays. And then they put this out. And it's like, it's not even on Christmas. It's the day after. So it's like, you couldn't even get that out on time. What's going on? It's just concerning, you know?
Yeah, it's hard with that team. I don't doubt what they're doing. I think they're doing something, but at the same time, it's they've had just way too much time just not to build anything. It's kind of odd. To me, it
Yeah.
feels like they're just piecing things together and then using the vagueness to like keep you enticed. So, like, I'm not selling my Beat Boys stuff just because I think it's not worth anything. Like, not worth what I spent on the stuff. So, like, I'd rather just hang on to it, let them do their
That's
thing in the
not,
background, and then like maybe something cool
yeah.
will happen in 6 months. But like, that's my time frame. Like, maybe they'll do something cool in 6 months. That's how I think about a lot of these smaller projects, just because they don't have big teams. So I'm assuming it's probably usually it's one person doing all the work. So in that case, um, yeah, there's really
Yeah,
nothing else to
it's
do.
okay to ask for help, you know?
Well, like, I mean, if you want to talk about another cool project and like they're kind of they've come back from the dead in a way, Tavern Squad NFTs,
Yeah.
like I thought that was really cool when I looked into it, and when I actually bought mine, it was like, um, you got it.
Yeah.
When I bought mine, it was like 30 ADA, and I was like, it's a small team. I thought it looked cool. I thought it could go somewhere, and I was like, I'm gonna buy one. I'm not gonna think about it. And then like now, fast forward to today, and the floor is like around 185 ADA. Like that's exactly what you want to see, and that's why you kind of don't want to sell a lot of this stuff that hasn't completed the roadmap, because you don't know where it's going to go or how the community is going to build. But like, just to hang on to it in the background and then be like, boom, next thing you know, that thing you bought for 38 is now 185. And
Yeah.
then, you know, like if I had sold it like on the floor, it would have, would have not made anything. But now it's like, cool. And now they've built out their website to be a little bit more like DerpBird's, where like you can connect your. Here, I'm gonna steal the screen real quick.
You want me to stop sharing?
Yeah.
When did you buy that?
When it was like 30. So let's see.
But like, what month was that? Do you remember?
For taxes or?
No, I just want to know how long you've been buying NFTs for.
Yeah, it's probably around August.
Like 4 months ago?
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me.
You would have bought one anyway. There's no hype whatsoever about these bad boys, but we'll just have to talk it out. Give it a couple minutes.
I was thinking about the other day, like, I just did like a transaction on MinSwap, and then I was like refreshing it like over and over. I was like, when's it gonna go through? But it took like, 30 seconds tops. And then I was just remembering like when I used to have to send shit to my own wallet and I would just have to like walk away for like and
fifteen
make
minutes.
some food and then come back. Like it would take so long. And then when you got back, it wasn't done. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
It was all still magic though back then. It was like
Yeah.
so cool that you even can do this stuff, and now we just take it for granted.
Yeah. It was just
Like,
part of the process.
give me my tendies.
All right. So let's talk about this Ute situation. My understanding, they're moving over to Polygon from Solana. Is that the alpha you've heard?
Yes, sir.
And Utes is like one of the top NFT projects just in general, I think. So yeah, they put out a post saying Q1 of 2023 they will bridge to Ethereum. So is it Ethereum or Polygon? Maybe I just saw one that was like a meme.
Well, Polygon is a layer 1 or like a
Layer
layer
2.
2
Mm-hmm.
of Ethereum, so it's kind of the same thing.
Like it's
But
just
the word on the street is that they were paid to go to
Polygon.
Polygon. So that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to stay on Solana.
it was the biggest project on Solana, so now it seems like Solana's kind of dying out. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel
There's
like
not
that
a
was
lot
keeping it
of
alive.
reasons. Like the only reason Solana had a community was because they were paying everybody and their mother to come there. So now that FTX took all their money and ran, the diehards are the only people left there, and that means like everyone's gone because the only diehards were like retail people. So now like all these retail people who came there just for money are now realizing that they have to do all the work. I don't think they have the skills to do it, so I just think there will be some type of a slow death there.
Yeah.
And then you see projects like this where it's like people were kind of salty they didn't come to Cardano, but it's like at the same time it's like who gives a shit, because we kind of have projects of this size already on Cardano. So it would have been nice to have them here because I feel like they have a lot of connections to like
Yeah.
a lot of the bigger Ethereum people that moved over here. Like who's that one kid who's making Goombies or whatever? Nash
Farmer
Farmer or
Nash.
something. Yeah, Farmer Nash. And Wabeth. So the
Yeah.
guys like that, they were all in cahoots. So it's kind of odd to me that he didn't come over here. I think there was so much bad blood too, and so much shit he talked about Cardano. The fact that he
Yeah.
moved from his layer 1 too back to Ethereum is like, it's pretty great.
Back
I'm
to
not gonna
mommy and
lie.
daddy.
Yeah, and I just think like Ethereum doesn't have a lot of they have so much technical debt that they're not gonna be able to like do all the cool shit that we're doing. And even if they
Yeah.
do, it's like they have to spend so much on gas to make shit happen. It's like I can see them in another 6 to 12 months being like, we're moving to Cardano.
It's interesting. You know how like what's it called, this NFT stock thing, NFT stock
Stocktwits?
twit thing. You know how they always post like the volume for the different chains
Yeah.
like every day. I'm interested once DeGods moves over if that drops substantially for Solana, or if it really is just like all wash trading and they just move to something else. Because
Yeah,
I do
I
feel
guess it
like it's
depends on who's
organic.
wash trading. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird because I really don't pay attention to Solana's NFTs.
Like
I
I
just
looked
kind
at
of,
it today and it was like $3 million volume compared to like 200,000 for Cardano, and I'm just like, seems like a lot. Like, but it could. I think it was also like because of that news, like it went up. But um, I'm just interested to see like who's sticking around Solana. Like, what's the good news coming out of there?
I haven't heard anything. I think the bad news there is still to come out because so many of those teams that were building on Solana had their bank accounts on FTX. So it's like, how do you pay your
That sucks.
employees when all your money's gone? You know, like who's gonna stick around? It's like
Yeah,
nobody really was building on Solana because they believed in their idea of decentralization because there is none. So it's like, well, why don't I just build on Amazon Cloud and then connect all my services to like whatever blockchain is hot at the moment? You know, if I was a team on Solana,
yeah,
you know, so I don't know. It's like it's so funny to me just how many times those teams keep fucking over their clientele, and it's like this idea of having these NFTs that you own and you have a seed phrase too, but then like the whole team moves off of the chain that you thought was the one,
yeah.
and it's like
And it's like, were they really that big of believers in it then, or do they just
no,
like money?
yeah, and then it should be left up to the community. You know, it's weird to have the head of the thing be like, "I've made this decision to move." It's like, well, I wonder if they talked with his community to be like, "What do you guys want to see? Like, what do you guys want to do?"
Yeah,
You know, because it seems like most of the communities, once they see all the things you can do with the Cardano NFT, they're like pretty excited about it, and most will most will buy one, if not multiple, and come over.
yeah. That was the cool thing with like the talking with like the AVAX people on Twitter. Like at first, there some of them were like, "Oh, you're Cardano," like throwing up emoji or something, and then I would just like ignore it and just talk to them about like NFTs or like making memes, and then after a while, they're like, "You guys are pretty cool." Like, and then they're like, "What Cardano stuff should I buy?" And then, like I was like interested in AVAX a little bit. So it was like
Give a
with
take.
that community, you can be like, "Hey, we're both like open to anything." So it's not like I feel like with Solana, it was always like you versus me, like you guys suck and we're awesome. But like with some of the other shades, I feel like it's more they they care more about like the experience or the technology, and I think it's better from our perspective, like to just be open to those communities and like not shit on them, you know.
Yeah, no, you've done a great
Um,
job with that. I've noticed that a lot where, people take cheap shots at you and you just talk about, you know, you're just really fucking funny. So like it's undeniable when it's like they have some stupid thing that they say and then you just turn it around on them and they have no choice but to like either engage or like look like an absolute asshole in front of their followers.
yeah, I think I can make fun of myself, so it's like when they see you're making fun of yourself, like better than they're making fun of you, it's like, oh, all right, well, what else
The
can we
the
talk
old
about?
the old 8 mile
Yeah.
tactic. My mom is a whore. My girl did cheat on me.
But yeah, it's fun. And then like that inadvertently got me interested in like in AVAX, and at first I was just like, I don't really care, like whatever. But now I look at it once in a while and I'm like, I might just like keep a couple NFTs or whatever. And then because I'm not a maxi like that crazy. Like I'll still dabble in other stuff.
I think it's smart.
Uh,
I think you have
but
to. I think this
I'm
at the end of the
always
day,
Cardano at heart.
I think it's just technology, and it's like sometimes you just have to zoom out and be like, where is the innovation happening, right?
Yeah,
And as long as the servers work and they can't steal your NFTs or whatever you're trading, I think
right.
it's like feasible. But uh yeah, no, I'm glad you do that kind of stuff, because I'm more of a maxi than you are, and I just think it's because I was, this is so stupid to say, but I'm like raised on Cardano, where like I've been here since like 2017, like just
Yeah,
researching and understanding like the philosophical elements of it, the decentralization, and understanding that like I could like go away and come back in 10 years and be totally fine. And I love that kind of a system, so that way I can build a foundation, and I don't have to have 100 wallets, and I don't have to have,
right.
you know, connected to all these websites that are now broken because the teams gave up or whatever. It's just like, for me, it's just an ease of mind, just because, we all have day jobs and we're all doing other shit. So it's like, how many chains and how many communities can you be a part of and remember all that stuff and keep everything safe and not keep you
Yeah,
up at night? Because, like for Cardano, I have so like hundreds of projects that, I've traded in, partook in, and like to think, okay, now I'm gonna zoom out and do AVAX, and I'm gonna do Algorand, and I'm gonna do Ethereum and Solana, and it's like, and each of those have hundreds of communities. It's like, well, now, just to check all your wallets to see updates on your portfolio and how it's doing, it's quite an
yeah,
undertaking.
a lot.
So it's like, for me, I'd just rather simplify the whole thing and streamline it, and that's more my thought process, as opposed to, I don't believe in other chains, or like that
Yeah,
there's not innovation happening on other chains, because there definitely is. I mean, there's tons of very talented people on every single chain out there. So yeah, it's kind of nice, to have somebody like you who's, dabbling with that stuff, to be like, hey, you got to check this out, like, you know
yeah. I think it's interesting to see like the marketing too, like what projects over here do really well and like what kind of marketing are they doing? And
mhm.
usually they're like pretty similar. Like they're very active and they're like always making like funny meme shit like gifs and like face swaps with their like, NFT. So I
Right.
think it's funny like Rippers on AVAX is very similar to like DerpBird's community. And I think like they've gotten kind of I've seen some interaction between those two communities. So like I think they're pretty similar. It's just different chains and different, you know, some people like decentralizations. um, some people like money. I don't know. But I think, yeah, I think it's just it's fun to in the bear market just like fuck around with everybody and just see like who's cool, who's an asshole. Like 'cause I feel like Ethereum people are super like a lot of them are super like pretentious and like, oh, I'm so much smarter than you. Like I've been here longer. I know all about NFTs, and it's like we're talking about like pictures on the internet. Like,
No,
chill
I
out,
know,
man.
it's crazy, and it's like, I think a lot of that comes from the VCs and all those people, because just watching all the other podcasts on Ethereum, and Charles talked about this too, where that one website does a report on the whole crypto class of this year, right? Just to be like, hey, this is what happened in 2022. Here's what chains are growing. Here's which ones are dying. Here's where the activity's
Yeah,
at. Here's who's doing the best with NFTs. And it's like a couple 100-page report, and it's really for like VCs and like people in the industry to see, what's going on, in a
yeah,
nutshell. So it's really nice for them to get a report like that, especially if they're not native to the communities. And I believe Cardano was left out of the whole thing. They weren't talked about it at all. So it's kind of funny, and it's bullshit, but at the same time, it's like, okay, we're gonna need somebody to do that. We're gonna need somebody to read all the blockchain data and like parse it out and tell us, sales volumes, and do a report like that for Cardano.
I think it's funny because it kinda, like, works against them. It's like the Streisand effect, like, the more you pretend something doesn't exist, like, the more people are like, "Why are they trying to hide this thing?" You know?
Yeah, it is. It's very true. I think it does work against him, especially at this point where it's like everyone says Cardano's going back to whatever price point, but it's like you can't deny the amount of activity and communities that it's built and that are still here and playing around and talking to people. So it's like, how does something die when it has that much engagement,
Yeah,
regardless of price?
yeah,
If these people aren't leaving, if they're not going to do something else, it's like it's just such an odd idea to even not engage them or notice them or like be like, oh, also there's Cardano and they're doing this. It's like we're not even like the number one, so I don't understand like what they're so where's the fear coming from where they don't
yeah,
even want to have the conversation, like just have an honest conversation, because it's like, well, even if the tech's worse, even if the tech's better, like you guys, Ethereum is still the number one chain, so what does it matter? Like I don't understand
yeah,
why
like,
you
by a
can't have an
lot.
honest like just because the staking's better on Cardano, like just say it's better. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden the price is going to change overnight. Like people tend to stick to that chain that they have the most money on. Like a lot of those Ethereum people who are buying Ethereum at $6, they're not going to leave Ethereum. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They're just not like. And I think that just goes to show from even me. Like I was buying Cardano and it was like, 2 cents. So it's like I'm not leaving Cardano. Like like even if the price goes all the way back down to where I bought it at, it's just there's so much good stuff happening. I'd rather just keep building a foundation here, like because I know it's not going to get shut down ever. So it's like, well,
yeah,
then I can keep building, you know.
yeah. I think they just wanna make it seem like for new people that it's not an option?
A viable option.
Yeah, because they
It's
don't
so
want
weird.
it ever gaining ground on Ethereum.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's like, you know, we're building the most stuff, or like we have the brightest future, I feel like. So maybe they're a little bit afraid of that, like us overtaking them or something in
I
a few
think,
years.
yeah, once we have like our Plutus V2 apps, like the moment I think for Cardano will be when Liquid Finance goes live and Axo Trade. Like I'm thinking that's January, so it's not very far. It's within the next couple weeks. And then,
Yeah.
if those end up being fucking game changers, um, we won't need any reports, right? Because it's gonna be number one. Like when you have these DApps in the bear market and they're just fucking crushing everything around it, um, it's gonna be really hard not to talk about. You know what I mean? Like people are gonna be
Yeah.
like, "What is this? Like, that looks really cool," and they're doing really innovative shit. Why did you do it on Cardano? And then also like, where'd you get all these bots from? You know, like,
I wonder if in that report, like, they had to cross out like 12 pages about how awesome FTX is and like
yeah,
how they're gonna have the best NFTs in the future. Like, well, I guess we can't print that anymore.
such a
But
shit show,
like all
man.
those guys are like the VC people, like they just like believe these wonder kids, like SBF. So it's not like
It's
they're the
so
smartest
weird.
people on earth. It's just like they
The
just
thing that
all believe each
is
other's bullshit.
terrifying to me is if somebody fucked me over that bad, I would never work with them again.
Yeah.
But you hear guys like that Kevin O'Leary guy from Shark
Hold on, let me
Tank.
turn on the light because I'm like
All right.
phasing out of existence. Okay.
Uh, yeah, that Kevin O'Leary guy on Shark Tank was saying like he ended up getting $15 million to promote FTX, but I'm sure he invested in the company as well. And someone asked him, if Sam Bankman-Fried started a new chain, would you invest in it? He's like, yeah, I would. It's like,
Yeah.
these people are insane. You know what I mean? Like
It's
that,
just like they can't admit being wrong
right? But it's like
or
he
being like
screwed you over.
bamboozled.
I just don't understand it. It's like, hey, first project lost you money. Would you invest in that guy again if he loses you money again? And they're like, yeah, I would do it. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
he's gonna do the same thing he did to you the first time. It's like he was using QuickBooks for everything.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't even using the blockchain. It's fucking incredible, man. I just love it.
But it's like how could you call him a genius and all this when he like lost so much money? Like he wasn't even trading well. Like
yeah, he's just not a seasoned.
the only thing he was
like
good at was like, you know, getting people to invest in him. Give him
and it
money
just goes,
basically.
yeah, it's just like odd to be like to use the idea of saving the world to like have people invest in you and then like screw them over and like social engineer people to be like, well, I'm saving the world, so if you want to help me save the world, like give me $10 million. And then
I think yeah.
what?
I was I was looking at this NFT project the other day and it was just so like I was like, this has to be a rug. But I feel like it's such a red flag when they're like, our goal is to change the world and create awareness for this specific thing. But then they don't have like a checklist of like what they're gonna do to change the world or anything. It's just like, just buy this NFT because we're gonna change the world. And that's such like a cliche line anyway. It's like the people that are actually trying to change the world aren't like saying
Promoting
that.
it.
They're just doing it. Like
It's a very weird time, but people fall for it all the time, and that's what worries me. It's the like they need the optimism. They need it to be the thing, like to get them through.
yeah, I think
Because like you make fun of it, you laugh at it, you can see through it. It's transparent to you, but to other people, it's real. It's like these guys are doing it. Like they said
yeah,
it. Why they said it? So why wouldn't they be doing it? You know, and
right.
that's basically what it comes down to. It's like I can write a sentence, and I know in my heart it's not true, but for some reason people will believe it. You know?
Yeah. I think people like for some reason want to live in a world where like some people are good and some people are evil and like but the truth is like most people are both, you know? And it's like
Well,
no one person
that's
is
what
gonna come
defines it.
and fix
Save the
everything
world.
for you.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. There's no.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say it. But
Merry Christmas, by the way.
Merry Christmas. There's no Santa Claus.
But yeah, keep going.
Where was I?
There's no savior, you're basically saying.
Yeah, it's so odd to me that like people don't understand that like humans are inherently bad and good. There is no idea of somebody who does solely good. Like it just depends on the interaction. Like each time you interact with somebody, like that person's on their best behavior, right? Like if you go
Yeah.
to a restaurant, that person who's taking care of you is like they're going to do the best that they can because there's an incentive there. But you don't know that person's day-to-day life. After they leave the restaurant, they could be, beating their wife or like hitting their dog or something. You know what I mean? But like in that interaction
Yeah.
with them, they were really good to you. That guy was a good guy. He smiled at me. He said thank you. He said please. So therefore,
Yeah.
I'll vouch for him. But then like you don't know that whole person's life, so it's like you almost like this is what's kind of fun about getting older is like you start to realize that like that nothing's a Disney movie, right? And it's like you
Right.
kind of just have to take every interaction with a person, a stranger, and just be like, yes, that was a good interaction, but you don't know the whole story, and you need to take everything with a grain of salt. you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I deal with like researching projects and like they can say the most amazing things in the world, but until you actually see it, you really have to like not go all in, right? Not put your whole life
Yeah.
savings into a project. But that's what also makes it fun too, because like sometimes you're fucking wrong. Sometimes like so it's like life's so messy
Yeah.
too. You know what I mean? It's like there's
I've definitely been like, this shit's a scam. And then it's like, oh, this is like this project has staying power somehow. Or like in life, I'm like, this guy's an asshole, and then I'm like, oh, he's actually a really cool guy.
okay. So let's be honest. I was thinking that way about chilled Kongs. Right? I was a believer. I wasn't a believer. Price went up. I was a believer for a hardcore minute, but then the whole falling out with the creators, mom getting sick. If that was
Mhm.
true or not, who knows? The team quitting. But then you look today and they're in the top 10 still.
Yeah.
So then like now I have to change my narrative. I have to change my thought process on the project because to me, if a project like that can go through that much bullshit and still stay in the top 10, like that's to me an idea of like you should probably have one just because I think it can they'll scam the hardest. I just feel like it might have a rise like Ape Society where you're like, how did they do that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why the
It
fuck did
just
that
kind of
happen?
it just kind of keeps hanging around, like, no matter what
Yeah,
happens. It's like, when
exactly.
is this shit gonna dump? Like, and it
I've
just
been
never does.
waiting for it to dump because I've been wanting to buy one in like the 800 to 900 range, and it's just every time I look at it,
Yeah.
it's around 1400 ADA. So to me, it's like eventually, it's like if it's not gonna go down, it's gonna go up.
Yeah.
As stupid as that might sound, that's how I feel, and it's like it's just been in that range for so long, like, and I feel like for some reason they have a bunch of whales in that community, and also like when people from Ethereum come over and Solana come over, they tend to buy a chilled Kong. I don't know why, but they do. Okay.
Yeah. That's true. It's like they always know about it somehow.
Yeah.
There's like only a few projects really that people tend to just like gravitate towards. I don't know why. Like, there's just something about them, and that's one of them. I feel like the goats too. Like, a lot of people are like, "What do you think of the Ada goats or whatever they're called?" Like, and I don't even have
Goat
one, but
Tribe.
like, goat tribe, yeah. But I'm like, I mean, they've been around for so long, and like, people love it. Like, how can I shit on them? Like, just because I don't have one. Like, I think that's a good one too. But
I
yeah,
feel bad about that project just because when they were hot in the summer, they were so annoying on my Twitter feed that
had to mute it.
I muted the phrase "Let's fucking goat" because I saw it so many times.
Forget about that. Yeah.
So they haven't been popping up in my feed since, and I totally forgot
Uh,
about them as a thing.
so
But
you
maybe I'll
just
have to unmute them, check
they're
them out.
not. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Like, you can just change your worldview just by muting like one
Delete a whole
community.
community.
But yeah, chilled Kongs, like, yeah, pretty much every time I've sold it, I've like kind of wanted to buy back in like pretty shortly after. It's
Yeah.
just and it's not even like they're like, I used to think their team was pretty good, and now it's like just the community almost. And I think they're still gonna the team is gonna like recover and figure it out, but it's probably gonna be like probably gonna take a while. And then I saw this meme the other day that was like, um, what what your founder promised you, and then it was like those really cool like um Magic Kong looking like the art, and then it's like what he delivered, and it was like those the World Cup monkeys they like airdrop to people. It just looks so shitty. I was like, that's pretty good, but it's like the perfect
analogy.
Yeah. And it's like, damn, I felt that from so many projects. Like they just do that. But it's also like, who are we to like ask for so much for, like when we paid? I mean, not chilled Kongs because they're pretty pricey, but like for something that was like a smaller mint or something, and it's like these teams probably don't have that much money to work with, and like we don't even know who these people are. Like, what if they aren't even capable of like what they sold us, so they were just trying to figure it out. Like, I think the whole NFT game is so that's why it's so hard to like figure out the good projects. But like the longer you do it, I feel like right now I feel like I know what I like, and whereas like 6 months ago I was probably just buying everything that piqued my interest that day.
Right.
So I think it was good to like go through that, but I think it just takes time to like see who succeeds. And now I just like watch more than anything. Like I don't even really buy
Bye.
that much stuff.
No,
I just
and
watch to see like what kind of projects do well, you know?
it's interesting to see the cycles they go through too. Because I was under the impression that like we had a hot minute there, where it was like a couple months where just the newest thing was always winning and being in the top
Yeah.
10 and being the most priciest, and then they would disappear. And so I thought like those projects that disappeared would never come back. And then you're starting to
Yeah.
see some of them pop back up. So it's like, man, I got so much more homework to do. Just because, just because it disappears doesn't mean it won't come back. So I kind of want to go back into those teams that were hot for a couple weeks and to look at like what they're doing and possibly like maybe scoop up some floor ones, because especially with like the Tavern Squad stuff, where it's like they had a really solid team and they just needed more time to do all the other stuff,
Yeah.
and now they're like a legitimate NFT project. So another one like that, I got a present for you like last year where it was like
Oh
that.
yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah. Uh what was it called?
Did you
Like
sell it?
adventurers. What was the thing that I sold called? Something adventurers.
Yeah, and
Grandmaster adventurers or something?
yes, Grandmaster Adventures, and I like to look at that team and see what they've been up to too. Because I know they were doing a V2 with JPEG Store, and it never got released, or it got released like weeks later because JPEG, it was like their first minting experience on JPEG Store. So stuff like that, where it's like that they're still building, and they're gonna have their moment. So might as well pick up like a bunch when they're like
I
28.
think Crypto Dino is one that like I thought it was dead because like their team was like, we have to stop building for a while. We don't have any funding basically. And then I was like, well, fuck. I guess those are worthless now. But then they came back and they started building again. And I was like, it's just hard to count any project out, because some
Yeah,
of them do come back. But sometimes you don't even know like why, because
it's yeah, it's really annoying because there's no strategy to it right now. It's like everything's so new, and now we're going into like year 2 of NFTs. So it's like, what's like, how do you play it? Like, because to me, it's
yeah,
not going anywhere. Like, NFTs are here to stay. Like, people like to make fun of it now. You see it on SNL, like it's always a joke.
yeah,
But then you talk to people in the NFT community, and they're so fucking in it. Like, they love it, So it's like,
yeah,
once you create a community that people love, or they really hate, like it tends to have some sticking power to it.
y- yeah. I think I'm trying to like be less emotional about NFTs and more like just straight up like I'm just making spreadsheets and shit now, and I'm like data wise like which project is worth keeping and which one like do I want to try to sell. And then I think it's for me personally, because I'm such an emotional person. Like I just started buying everything, and like, and then it just gets you get burned on that. So like, I think I found a better strategy for myself. But I think as far as like identifying good projects, like it's just more about not trusting them like off the bat, like unless you see something that's really different or like their community is just like built different, you know.
Yeah, and those are so few and far between that that's probably a better way to go at it.
Yeah. So I really don't trust these projects that come out of the blue and just knock it out of the park. Like I just don't believe in that for the most part. And if I'm wrong, I'm okay with it. But like I just can't like do that anymore. I feel like that's where I've gotten burned the worst. And I feel like I'm in like an AA meeting now.
No, it's like there's a difference. There's also, you have to admit to, like, there's a difference between someone who's just trying to flip NFTs, buy it
Yeah.
at a low and sell it at a high, and then other people who invest. Like I would say, you've invested in DerpBirds because you have so many,
Yeah.
and you participate with the community. So it's like there is a little bit more of a connection to it. So that's different than someone who just is like trying to get on a whitelist and then
Yeah.
sell it.
And there have been ones where I buy like a shitload because I just like the community and I like the people. So it's like I don't think I can really like be mad at that because it's like I was trying to help this project succeed. Like
Right.
it's like putting it's like you're kind of building your own company in a way. Like I
No, that's
believe in this
exactly what it
company.
is.
Like here's some funding. Let's see if they can do it.
Well, that's what all these things are, right? They're digital
Hmm.
companies, and like they're gonna evolve and be that thing eventually. They're gonna become a corporation. They're gonna become an Amazon. One's gonna become a McDonald's. It's just like knowing which one's gonna be the thing that does that.
Yeah.
That has that one unique feature that sets it apart.
And then if you like if you are the if you like do try to flip them and then like one day you're like, oh, I had a McDonald's but I flipped it for 50 ADA or something.
Right.
I think that would hurt too.
That's the game too. That's where it's like, well, like where it's like the Tavern Squad thing, where it's like I totally forgot I had
Yeah.
that thing, and then it's like, oh shit, they're in the top 10. You know, so it's
Yeah.
like it happens so many.
Those
Like, this
always
happens
feel
so many
good.
times. Those feel great, and then you feel like an asshole because it's like I should have bought 10 of them instead of just one.
Yeah.
You know, but or like wild things. I'm into that for
Wild.
like 30 ADA, and then they became like 300. So, and the
I
artwork
remember
is not
someone
great.
Wild Tangs, yeah.
Wild Tangs.
I hated those, but he showed me it. I was like, why did you buy that? I remember when I minted the Vox Kongs, I got like 2 super rare ones. And I was like, these things are gonna be fucking my ticket out of here, you know? And someone offered me like 2 wild tangs and like which were worth like 300 ADA or something at the time. And like something else, like a goat. And I was like, no, I'm gonna hold on to what I have. Like, I got something real good here. But I'm sure they would have scammed me anyway. Like, I hate trading. Like, I don't believe in trading, but just like I totally like could have gotten. I got like multiple offers on that, and then it's just like I just believed in Kong so much.
Yeah,
and
you
then
just never know. And
yeah,
honestly, like with that, you never know what those become. Like,
yeah. If
because
it's like part of a game at some point, like
that remains to be
I
seen.
still have
because
it,
it's
you
like,
know.
they're still making that metaverse thing with.
Whoa, you're sweating. Sweating pretty good
It's
there.
been a long one, baby. Let's end it there. Good talk. We're sweating through
Mike's
these
got to change his
t-shirts.
shirt.
I gotta change my shirt and my pants. But
All right.
we love you guys. See you guys next week.
Peace
Merry
out.
Christmas, Happy New Year. See you next week.